record our webinar today. So if you want to share this with colleagues or rewatch it, we will send the link to the recording later on. But good morning, everybody, and welcome to our webinar, Get Ready for 2025. We are really excited to kick off next year's programs, which of course start this fall. And let's go ahead and get started. So we wanted to start with just a review of SUSTA. Our mission is to help small and medium-sized businesses export internationally. So all of the programs and services that we offer are geared to help you grow outside of the US and promote your brands in other countries. As all of you know, we are headquartered in New Orleans. We're a fairly small staff of 12 people. And we cover a really large region. And the only way that we can manage to, facilitate our programs and reach companies in all of these states is that we work very closely with the departments of agriculture in all of these states. So if you are maybe from Texas and you're on a trip with us somewhere out of the country, you might be working with someone from the Department of Agriculture in Kentucky or Florida. So we operate as a region, and we're all here to support Southern exporters. But our funding is federal. So it comes through the USDA's Foreign Agricultural Service. So it's, federal, it's state, it's regional, but our mission is all to help our small and medium-sized Southern exporters. We like to categorize our programs and services into these three buckets, starting with export education, making sure that our companies are really ready to start exploring foreign markets. Then in our global events where you can meet qualified foreign buyers. And finally, through our CostShare program, where we can offer 50% reimbursement of certain international marketing expenses. So we will get into some updates on all of the programs, but first we just want to talk a little bit about recertifying your account for 2025. So the first thing, starting August 1st, when you go to log into your account, you will see this pop-up screen suggesting that you recertify your account for 2025. So what that will do is it'll just, pull up your account like normal, and you'll go through and make any updates. Let us know, maybe you've moved or, something has changed. Please change all of that now. And very importantly, please pay attention to the programs and services. Whatever you select here is how you'll be reviewed for 2025. So for instance, if you don't select global events, then you won't be reviewed for global events. And if you went to register for a trade mission that's taking place in 2025, you wouldn't be able to because your accountant wouldn't be marked eligible yet. So just, make sure that you pay attention to that list and select the programs that you're interested in participating in. But keep in mind too, if that changes throughout the year, you can always log in at some later point and change that. Maybe you're like, oh, actually, I do want to apply for CostShare next year. You could log into your account and select that, and then we'll get that notification. And one really important thing that we also wanted to point out as you're going through and updating your account is making sure that the contacts within your company's account are accurate. We know a lot of people probably sign in under their boss's name or another colleague. And while that's, it works sort of, it's really not the greatest way to go about taking part in the programs. Because then, let's say you're trying to register for a webinar like this, but you're under somebody else's login, they're going to get the link to the webinar. We won't know that it's you. So just a little review on how all of that works. Each company can have many, many contacts listed with their own logins. So really anybody who's trying to access the MySUSTA accounts, or your company's accounts, they should all have their own MySUSTA login. So where you could see this is the primary account holders which there can be multiple within your company, they can see company contacts when they log in. So you just click there and you'll see all the people that are listed, and the primary account holders are the only ones that see that, and they can edit. Um, if you want to create a new account, that person would just go to our website and they would type in their company name, their first and last name, and their email address. And the system will match the name that they've typed in. It'll find any kind of similar company names and it'll say, oh, are you part of, XYZ company? They'll say yes. It will then ask the primary account holders, is this person an actual contact? Do you want to approve it? So we don't let just anybody say like, oh, hey, I'm part of Acme Food Company. And then they'd have access to your company's account. So that's the reason we do that. So the primary account holder will still have to approve that. So just make sure that that takes place. And if there are ever questions or problems, just contact us. We can also create profiles, within your company's account. We can go in and let you know who's the primary account holder. We would love to help you get all of this cleaned up for your company so that we know, who exactly we're working with in each company. So enough about that. Please contact me if you want to work on yours. Okay, so let's first talk a little bit about export education. Where you can find all of our export education is going to be on our events page. So if you just go to the export education tab, that's where you're going to see all upcoming webinars, like today's webinar, our export readiness training, which just opened up for registration. It's going to be in October, as well as all the consultations that we have with our in-country consultants. So we keep adding to our list of consultants, which is exciting. Our newest ones are Africa and South America, and we will absolutely be having more that are added to this list. So these consultations are free, and it's a way for you to have a phone call, usually on Zoom or Teams with these folks who are based in that country to talk about, something specific to your company. So we highly recommend that as a first step if you're interested in any of these key markets. And a little bit more about export readiness training. As I mentioned, we just opened up registration for our fall training. It's going to be in October. We host these on Zoom because we want to make sure that everybody in SUSTA's region can take part in this training, but it is done live. So we really want to simulate, that classroom experience as much as possible. We'd love to be able to do these in person. It's just not really feasible given how large our region is. But you can ask questions. It is interactive. And there's homework after each of the sessions. So, our consultant is teaching you a variety of topics and, going through all of the stakeholders and support that is available to small businesses. And then, you take that information at the end of the session and you kind of like internalize it for your company. You'll do the homework and then come back at the next session with, that first part done. And then at the end of the third session, you'll do your final homework. And what you have at the end of all of it is an international marketing plan. So it's a great training. We really recommend it. It's a wonderful place to start if you're new to exporting and you have all the questions about how to get started. So we still have several spots open and would love to have you there in October. I would also like to mention our Connects platform. This is part of our website where our companies can upload all of their company and product information. And then more and more foreign buyers are coming onto this site, perusing it. They can search for products. It's not any kind of e-commerce. It's really a B2B networking. So as they see companies and products that they want to connect with, they can do that, via this website. So if you're interested, please let us know. We'd love to get you set up on the Connects 365 platform. Okay, enough about export education. We will now move into our global events. So our global events, this is a really important reason why you should be logging in very early August to recertify your account. And the reason why is that our 2025 global events will start opening for registration on August 15th. So what that means is that your account, you need to recertify it, and then we have to have the time to review it and mark you eligible before August 15th. So if you're interested in registering for events and you might want to be one of the first people on that list, make sure that you log in, on August 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and recertify your account quickly, so that we can get you reviewed. If it's August 14th at the end of the day and you're recertifying, we can't guarantee that we're going to have you reviewed. This is a manual process. We're looking at your company, and making sure that you're still eligible for the programs. So we just really want to drive that home. Please recertify your account in early August, because we have some awesome events that will be going online August 15th. They are first come, first serve. And booth selection is offered in the order of registration. So whoever registers first for that trade show will have the first pick of the trade show booths. So just things to keep in mind. We have many fun and exciting trade shows coming up. The first quarter trade shows that will be up and open for registration are here, and there will be a lot of other events, trade missions and shows, but these are some key events, from the first quarter that are going to have events or deadlines that are opening soon. And one of those that is going to be really soon is Gulf Food. So this is one of our most popular events every year. It takes place in Dubai, and SUSTA has 20 booths available. This year, the Gulf Food Trade Show organizers want to know who's going to be exhibiting in our pavilion, and they want to know that information really early. So we told them, our events don't open until August 15th. So our deadline for Gulf Food is September 13th of this, in a little over a month. So what that means is that we're not going to have a lot of time with Gulf Food just for the registration process. Once you're registered, then there's plenty of time. Of course, it's not till February, but if you're interested in Gulf Food, you're going to need to, recertify your account and register for Gulf Food quickly. Because from the time it opens on August 15th, there's only about a month for companies to register. So we really just want to get the word out about Gulf Food. If you're interested, there is not a huge window, to register. So please keep that in mind. And then another global event item that we just wanted to talk a little bit more about are our outbound trade missions. So this is the only event where we reimburse travel. Usually when SUSTA is talking about travel reimbursements, we're talking about the CostShare program. But when it comes to global events, we can reimburse travel only for SUSTA's outbound trade missions. And we will reimburse either your economy airfare or your hotel or lodging for that trade mission. And you get to select which of those you want us to pay for. If it's airfare, it's a little trickier because there are rules and regulations that have to be complied with. So because of that, we have to book it through SUSTA's travel agent. So if you want us to book your airfare and have that be the thing that we pay for through our outbound trade mission, then you have to contact SUSTA and we'll have our travel agent book your flight. We can only reimburse the full fare economy airfare to and from the event. If you want to either upgrade to a different class or extend your trip, that can be done, but we will only reimburse, the economy airfare to and from. And in order to make any of those upgrades or, lengthening of the trip happen, there has to be a quote pulled on the same date that the ticket is purchased, showing what it would cost if you flew on the right dates or, the right class. And then we compare the two and, we only reimburse for the full fare economy flight. Much easier is the hotel. So the with the outbound trade mission, you can opt for us to pay for the hotel, and it just has to be a hotel within the per diem for that city and country. So just wanted to go over that. I feel like sometimes, or we have just, noticed in the office, there can be a little confusion around that. So of course, we're here to talk if you have any questions. And we have a new global events manager on our team now, Emmanuel Johnson, who I was going to ask to turn on his camera and maybe wave and say hello. I know he was having some sound issues.
Hello, Daniel.
Hey, Emmanuel.
Hi, thank you so much
Yeah.
for being so informative for Global. So I am trying to turn on my camera now, but it's saying the host disabled it.
Oh, no.
So
Weird.
uh,
Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know.
no problem. Well, thank you all for attending. Just wanted to give a brief introduction of myself and this new role. So yes, my name is Emmanuel Johnson. I'm the Global Events Manager here at SUSTA. In my role, I pretty much oversee the planning and execution of our international events to ensure we have seamless coordination and we really truly try to create an impactful experience for everyone who wants to participate in our events. So I'm fully dedicated to trying to foster these global connections and promoting our mission. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. There'll be an email listed in the in one of the slides, and we can go from there. Um, Sorry, I can't turn on my camera now.
No, Emmanuel, I'm so sorry. I don't know how. I've never had that happen before. Okay, well, yeah, Emmanuel has a very nice face. Sorry, we wanted to introduce you, but next time. Uh, all right, thank you. Um, and another global event reminder is the surveys, everybody's favorite topic. If you register for an event with SESTA, there are two surveys per event. There will be one that's available in your MySUSTA account starting the last day of the event. And you have 2 weeks to complete that. Please make sure that you complete it. We understand that maybe, you know, sales and things aren't happening on the trade show floor and you might not have a ton to report right away, but there are some things that we can capture, initially right off the bat from the trade show or the trade mission. And then 6 months later, you'll get a notification that you have your concluding survey that's available in your MySUSTA account. So, we want to know in the last 6 months since that event took place, has anything transpired? Maybe, some of those sales are coming to fruition or, there's been some development. And we would love to know that. Really, without that kind of data and information about how the events are performing, we won't have programs to offer. So it's really important that we collect that data, and we really appreciate all of you who are submitting your surveys in a timely manner and getting us that information. It's really important to the future of our programs. So please make sure that you log into your account if you are logging in and updating for 2025 and you see that you have some 2024 events surveys that are still not completed, please go ahead and get those done. Now, I'll share. Deneen, are you having trouble showing your video?
I am Danielle.
Gosh, that's crazy. Okay, well, I'm sorry about that. I will try to troubleshoot. I'm not sure what I can. While Emmanuel was talking. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, but we still love to hear from you, Deneen, about 50% cost share. This is where SUSTA reimburses 50% of certain international expenses. So,
Yes,
Deneen,
thank you.
yeah.
Thank you, Danielle. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Deneen Wills, the Cost Share Director here at SUSTA. 50% matching funds. Oh, Danielle.
Right.
50% matching funds, that's for U.S. companies where you can double your international market budget. So here are a few of the eligible cost share promotions where a company can include them in their application, as well as later conduct those promotional activities. So exhibiting at international trade shows, cost share can assist for the booth cost, for any rental of equipment, any point of sale materials, brochures, banners, flyers. You heard Danielle mention about travel for the trade mission through global events. However, through cost share to exhibit at these international trade shows, we can assist for up to 2 company employees for their airfare, lodging, meal, and incidental expenses. Another expense that we could assist for is for in-store sampling. So if you hire an outside contractor, demonstrator in the store to demonstrate your products, we could pay for the demonstrator's wages and any other expenses that relate to that in-store promotion, such as you may have banners or point of sale materials, uniforms. We could assist for those items as well. If you would like to produce your packaging to be in compliance with the foreign country's labeling regulations, we could assist for the design costs, the plate, translation costs, and the printing costs for those labels to be in compliance with the country's requirements. Another thing that companies do a lot now, social media. So Facebook and Instagram ads, we could assist for the cost for that. Although they are doing social media ads, we still have companies that submit for billboard ads or print ads as well. Another thing that your company can do is your website. So let's say that your website is in English, but you may have foreign buyers in Mexico, and you may want to translate it in Spanish. So you could have the page where you click onto that link, and it will take you to the page where those buyers can see information in Spanish. All right, this is very important. For many years, I want to say 20 years, SUSTA has been having our application fee at $250. However, that fee will still remain at $250. That's if you submit your application between August and December 31st, 2024. However, we changed it to $300 if you later submit your application on or after January 1st, 2025. So please keep this in mind. This is new to the 2025 program year. All right, so what are the steps for 50% cost share? So the first thing you heard Danielle mention about your account. If you're a returning applicant, you want to log into your MySUSTA account and recertify your information. If you're a new company, you're going to create an account. So for any new companies that apply for cost share, they are first required to have a consultation with our marketing team. That's either Alistair or Trey. So after you have recertified your information, you will receive an email from me to invite you to complete the application. That's the second step to the cost share application process. So every year you have to apply for funds. So I get sometimes the question, Deneen, well, does my application roll over from the previous year to the new year? Unfortunately, it doesn't. So you have to do the application every year. There are minimum and maximum requests. The minimum amount a company can apply for is $2,500, with the maximum being $300,000. So that means if you're going to request $3,500, 300,000, you have to spend a total of 600,000 to request the 300,000 in reimbursement. And the same applies for the 2,500. You have to spend a total of 5,000 to request 2,500. If a company is new to CostShare, have no export experience, the maximum they could apply for is 25,000. If the company is new to CostShare and they do have experience, the maximum they can apply for is 50,000. So keep in mind you have the range from the minimum amount to the maximum amount. You heard me mention about the fees. There are the two different fees that are non-refundable. Like I said, $250 if you apply from August 1st to December. And then after that, it will be $300. So after an application has been submitted, companies are required to submit their brand product packaging and/or brand product labels. If it's a returning company, we require that every 5 years, not unless a company, a returning company, is updating their application to add other products that were not previously approved in the last program year, then they have to provide that brand product packaging labels. Okay, so after we've reviewed the application and I approve it, companies then get an application approval email from me. And once they get that application approval email, the company will then have access to their contract. So they will log into their MySUSTA account and go in to read and sign the contract. If it's a new company, call me with any questions if you're not certain of information in the contract. There's another fee that's required besides the $250 application fee, which is non-refundable. The other non-refundable fee is a 6% administrative fee. And that fee is based on the 50% reimbursement request amount that you have been approved for. So if you apply for $2,500, you will pay that 6% admin fee on that. If a company is new to the program, they are then also required to have another consultation on the expense claim side. So we go over how to submit your expense claims, what we look for, etc. So after a company has been contracted, when I say contracted, that means they paid the fee, like I mentioned, signed the contract, you're then considered a CostShare participant. So then you go out there, you conduct your promotional activities to promote your brand products internationally. Then you want to make certain you collect your required documents and be ready to submit those expense claims within 60 days of your promotion. All right, some common errors we see here on CostShare. Okay, creating or requalifying your MySUSTA account. That does not mean that's the same thing as your CostShare application. Creating your account or requalifying your account, that's, like I said, the first step. Then the next step will be the CostShare application. So please keep that in mind because many companies get confused and think that once they submitted their requalification or created their account, they think that's the application. The other most important thing is you want to make certain you apply far in advance of your promotional activities. We recommend applying 3 months in advance. So don't wait until you have a trade show coming up and a week of or 2 weeks before the trade show, you're applying and trying to rush to, get your application approved. So you want to make certain that you always apply in at least 3 months in advance of your promotions. One of the other errors we see when reviewing expense claims is that the companies had not notified the agriculture trade office in that foreign country for which they will be traveling. So that's important that you notify the ATO at least 2 weeks prior to traveling. And when it's time to submit your expense claims, you want to make certain that we have that email or fax. I don't know if people still do faxes, but hey, some may do. But you want to make certain that you submit that email as proof that you notify the ATO. We never like to see companies not get reimbursed. There are regulations, and one of the regulation is that you have to notify the ATO. So if we don't have that on file, unfortunately, we won't be able to pay for those travelers airfare, lodging, meal, and incidental expenses. So that's very important. All right. So once you complete your application and hit that submit button, that does not mean you're done. So you want to make certain once you hit that submit button, there will be an application checklist. You want to make certain you read that checklist thoroughly. So the things that are required for us to review your application, when I say us, I'm talking about myself and Aileen Hyman. She's the CostShare coordinator. The things that are required is that you have to pay your $250 application fee. That's if you apply early, or that $300 application fee. You have to submit your brand product packaging or your brand product labels for those brand products you want to promote for your promotions. And you have to sign your certification statement. If you're a company that is an export trading company or export management company, you are required to complete the brand owner permission form. And that's for companies that don't own the brand for the products that you want to promote. So you have to have the owners give you permission to be able to promote those brands in the markets that are listed in your application. All right, this is another very important thing. You want to make certain after the completion of your promotion, you have 60 days after that completion of your promotion to submit your expense claims. You don't want to have an event that took place, let's say 6 months out, and then you're going to wait a whole year to submit your claims. Please do not do that, because we are running out of funds, or we've done that for 2023. So you want to make certain that you submit those claims within that 60 days, because we can't ensure that we will be able to reimburse your company. So that's very important. All right, so our cost share manual. Every year we publish the cost share manual. Everything in the manual is outlined. It outlines the requirement for the program. So companies apply for the program, get their application approved, and then, like I said, you go out there and conduct your promotional activities after you've been contracted. Sign the contract and pay that 6% admin fee. You're considered a cost share participant. So the three things that we look for when we're reviewing expense claims, there are three key items: invoice, proof of payment, and proof of activity. So you want to make certain, I'm going to keep repeating, don't wait till the end of the year to submit your claims. Make certain you submit your claims at least 60 days after the conclusion of your promotion. Reimbursements, that depends on the workload we have here in the office. If your claim is in an orderly fashion, you submit everything, invoice, proof of payment, proof of activity, then chances are you can get reimbursed quicker than if it was someone that didn't submit everything. So we will have to go back and forth just to get the additional information. And when we do that, that delays the expense claim process. But it can take up to 3 to 6 weeks, depending on the documentation you submit. Just like Danielle mentioned on the global event side, for cost share, we also have a survey. So in January, we send out the survey to our participants from the previous year. This is very important. If a company has not submitted a survey, we, CostShare, will not be able to move forward to process the application. We will not be able to reimburse the company, or we will not be able to even get the company contracted. So everything will be on hold. So that's important that you submit that survey.
Hey, thank you, Janine.
You're welcome.
All the good updates on CostShare. Um, and Alistair Perez was going to deliver the slide, but he could not be here today. He had an exciting development at home. So he will be out for the next few weeks. But our outreach team is Alistair and Trey, and I'm guessing Trey's on, but I'm guessing he also won't be able to turn on his camera. I was going to introduce him as well. But the outreach team is who you speak with when onboarding, when you're being onboarded into SUSTA for the first time. So all of our new companies that create accounts for the first time have a consultation with our outreach team. If you have new staff joining, we also would like to have a consultation with them to go over the programs and how everything works. So please make sure when Alistair and Trey reach out for those consultations that you find a time to talk with them. And they're also on hand if anybody wants a SUSTA refresher that's, maybe more one-on-one or more in depth than something like what we've done today. Please reach out to Alistair and Trey. They do the SUSTA overview all the time and they can, do it. They do it individually with companies on Zoom and Teams, quite often. So it's just always good to have a refresher. There's so many opportunities that we offer. And sometimes, it's good to be reminded of everything. So please reach out to them for a refresher. And if you're going to be at America's Food and Beverage, the Global Produce and Floral Show, or the Private Label Manufacturers Association show, keep an eye out for Alistair and Trey, who will be there at those events. So it's always nice to meet people in person. And at America's Food and Beverage, I believe they will be in the SUSTA booth. The other two shows, they'll just be walking. But at America's Food and Beverage in Miami this September, we will have a SUSTA booth. So come by and say hello. And that concludes our presentation. If you have any questions right now, please type them into the Q&A and we'll get those answered. But we also, would love to talk with you after the webinar. So again, these are the emails for our outreach team, events, and CostShare. If you would like to speak with me about your account and adding contacts, mine is Danielle@susta.org. And we'll see if any questions come in.
And Danielle, I want to add that
Yeah.
if they have any CostShare questions, they can contact me directly at Deneen@susta.org as well.
Perfect. See, somebody has a hand up. So Brian, I'm going to go ahead and allow you to talk. All right. Brian, I think you're muted.
Sorry, I just want to say hi.
Hi there, Brian.
Hello.
I just wanted to pass on another, just a short success story
Great.
from a trade mission we had last year. Just got our second 40-foot container out of it, valued over $500,000. So out of that trade mission, we did $1 million worth of business through the EU. So it was great trade mission.
Which trade mission was that? Sorry.
That was one that was SUSTA and the FAS. Bernadette was there and some of the crew. It was in Amsterdam.
Amsterdam. Okay.
Yeah, where they brought about a lot of the buyers from the EU through there. We did our first container was about 8-9 months ago, and then we just got our second 40-footer. So and we were getting ready to launch into WH Smith with that trade mission. So it was very, very successful to go over there and to meet the buyers and to get the product in some of these national chains over there.
Yeah, great. I know, Brian, while we have you on the line, any words of wisdom for new exporters and new SUSTA participants?
Yeah, I would just keep in mind that SUSTA doesn't sell your product, but they will definitely line up the right people, the right meetings to put you in front of the people. I highly recommend that you do multiple shows in the same area to build relationships in the international business. It took me more than one time. It took me quite a few times over in Europe and over in the Asian market as well. But once you build those contacts and relationships, you got them over a lifetime, and if they want to buy your product, they'll buy her. So it's a good program, great program to be involved with.
Thanks. Okay, and I'm not seeing any other questions come through. I'm shocked. But I'm guessing we'll be hearing from you after the webinar. So please don't hesitate. We're here to serve you and to answer questions. So we hope to hear from all of you. And we're really excited about 2025. We're going to have a lot of events coming up next year. We'll be opening new markets, and there will be all kinds of new opportunities. So make sure that our emails aren't going into your junk, because that's the best way for us to notify you when new things are coming online. And we can't wait to open our 2025 programs. So don't forget to recertify your account starting this Thursday. And then keep an eye on those events that are opening starting August 15th. All right. And does any of our other panelists have anything to say?
I just want to say that, for a new company, when you get that invite, just make certain that you reach out to me or Aileen Hyman, the CostShare coordinator, because we want to make certain that we get your application completed and submitted correctly. Because there's been so many times that we have seen with new companies, they've done it incorrectly and wasted all that time, where we have the staff here that can help you get through the process.
Yeah, great point. Yeah, they can walk you through the application process in advance, so you're not wasting time. And Deneen, that brings me to something else that we saw yesterday. Sometimes when companies are creating their marketing plans, they think that they have to, it's basically a checklist of eligible promotions. Deneen, do you want to?
Yeah. So with the foreign marketing plan, that's completely different marketing plan from the U.S. The U.S. marketing plan is pretty self-explanatory, it's clean cut. But with the foreign marketing plan, if you're conducting promotions in a foreign market, there's the activity description page of that marketing plan. And too many times we see that companies, they see everything eligible promotional activity that's on that page, and they think that they have to select everything. So they'll put, like, for example, advertisement. Now they're not going to do an advertisement, but they'll put $1 for the estimated cost, and they'll put NA under description. You do not have to do that. You only do your marketing plan based on your definite promotional activity plans. So if you're not going to do advertisement, you just leave those sections blank. You just do the sections that apply to your definite plans.
Yeah. So just something to keep in mind. But again, we can walk you through that process if you're new. So don't be a stranger, and we look forward to working with you in 2025.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.